Hi, welcome to showmethecurry.com. I'm Anuja and today I'm going to show you how to make Kerala paratha or Malabar paratha. It's a very flaky and a very yummy paratha and it's just really amazing. And if any of you even remotely remember the video that I took of this street side guy making the paratha, oh my god, I'm sure you were drooling just as much as I was. Anyway, I'm going to show you how to make it now. And it needs a little bit of technique, and it needs a little bit of practice, but it's so doable at home. If you can make chapatis, you can definitely make this. So I'm going to be using 3 cups of all-purpose flour for this recipe, which is going to make about 10 parathas, approximately 400 grams. And we're going to add in 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of sugar. Now the sugar is to caramelize and give it some color, because otherwise it's just all-purpose flour and it'll just be white. And I'm going to mix this. Make sure your salt and your sugar is incorporated well. Form a little well. And I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of oil. And I'm going to mix it in. Now this may take a little while. You want the oil to be evenly distributed. And anytime you feel a lump, just break it down between your fingers. So once that's mixed in, I'm going to add another tablespoon of oil and do the same. Okay, this is mixed in well. And I have 1 cup of water. Now I'm going to add in little at a time, because sometimes the measurements vary a little bit and you don't want to put too much and then you're going to be in trouble. So I'm going to add little at a time and just bring it all together. Now when you start seeing it all come together, you can stop. Mine, I think, pretty much 1 tablespoon less. So you never know, sometimes you need a tablespoon more and sometimes you need a tablespoon less. And once it's all come together and formed a ball, I'm going to start working on it on the counter. Put a little bit of oil in my hands and I'm going to just smear some of the oil on the counter. Back to my dough and I'm going to start working on it. Now I'm going to work on it for at least 5 to 7 minutes. If you need to use a little bit of more oil for your hands, go ahead and do that. Okay, it's been a while. Take the dough. I am going to put it back in my mixing bowl. Put a little bit of oil over it so it doesn't form a dry crust. And I have a wet cloth over here and I'm just going to cover it and I'm going to allow it to sit for at least half an hour. So it's been a little over half an hour and our dough has been resting. It looks good. I'm going to again put it back on the counter and knead it one more time. And what's happened is the dough has become a lot softer. If you notice, it's bouncing back though, and that's exactly how we want it. And now at this point what we're going to do is I'm going to form balls. So we'll take a handful, 2, and I'm going to put them in here and I'm going to start rolling them. Divided them and I'm going to cover them back up. Other than the one that I'm going to be using, I'm going to cover it back up with a wet cloth. I'm going to form a ball. And the best way to form a ball is you take your dough, you kind of spread it with your thumbs and tuck it in with your fingers. So take it, tuck it in, take it, tuck it in, take it, tuck it in, take it, tuck it in. So basically you're doing this simultaneously. So that's the best way to make sure there's no creases formed. So there you go. So the seam side goes down and I'm going to let it again rest over here. So I'm going to work on all of them the same way. The dough balls have been resting again. Take a bowl of all-purpose flour and just keep it handy. Now I'm going to take one of the dough balls and make sure my counter is well oiled and start rolling with the seam side down. Now the thing is that it is all-purpose flour. There is gluten in there now, so it will keep stretching back. So it's okay. You don't have to worry about it. There you go. Beautiful. It looks thin. It looks great. So I'm going to take some oil and I'm going to smear it. take a brush or use your hands, and you've got to do this. Now this is one of the reasons why it is so yummy. Then you're going to take a little bit of your flour and dust it. And then you start off from one side, lift it and fold it. Then pick it up and then take it for double forward and then down. Take it forward, pick it up, lift, take it forward, double side up, forward and down. And carry on till you reach the end. Take one of the ends and start rolling it like a Swiss roll. Make sure that the oil side is on the top. Alright, and then you take the edge and then tuck it into the bottom. And I'm going to put it on a plate and cover it. And I'm going to carry on and do the rest. But anytime that I do in between, I'm going to make sure my counter is well oiled, my rolling pin is well oiled. Okay, those beautiful florets have been formed with the dough, and I have my tawa heating up. It's on medium heat, but it needs to be really nice and hot before I put a paratha on it actually. So I'm going to start rolling them out, and so I'm going to take one. Again, I'm going to oil my counter, and I'm going to carry on to making it on the counter itself. Now this is what I'm going to do. This is enough, about 8 to 10 is enough for our family of 4, and you know, it's perfect. But if you have a smaller family, or if you just want to have one, or you know, you just don't need so many, or you don't want to reduce the amount and put in so much effort and all, you can actually freeze these. So I'm going to show you how. So I'm going to first roll this out just like you would do to a normal paratha, roti. Look at that. Can you see the layers? So I'm going to just roll it out, and it's going to spring back, and that's absolutely fine. It is all-purpose flour, and it does tend to do that. If you need a little bit of help, you can put a little bit of all-purpose flour and it'll be fine. Now the thing is that I don't like to make them very big because, you know, first of all, they're just so pretty. You want to have them hot. They don't really taste great when they're cold, and we all tend to eat a little slower. So I actually make them smaller, and this is like perfect size for us, our family. And you don't want it very, very thin, because when you scrunch it up after it's cooked, you want it to have the layers. So I'm going to leave it this right now, let the oil pan heat up. But while I'm doing that, let me show you this. Let me show you about the freezing technique. So I have butter paper over here, or you can use wax paper or plastic paper, either way is fine. And I have just cut them into little squares. It's perfect for this. And I'm just going to roll them out and stack them. Put it all inside a Ziploc bag, close it up and just freeze it. And when I want, you know, this paper will help it first of all keep it separate. If I want just one, I can pull one out, heat up the stove, and right from the freezer itself, when it's still cold, it's not defrosted yet, you put it straight on the tawa and you heat it up and you oil it exactly like you would now. So this is a great tip. Just keep that in mind. You can make a bigger batch and keep it and just use it whenever needed. And always put a paper underneath also. It's very, very important to do that. So it's easy to lift. Otherwise it's going to be very hard. I'm going to start with the next one. I'm going to put a little bit of oil in the middle. Smear some oil. And once you see the color kind of starting to change a little bit, you're going to flip it around. This is perfect. Just let it cook just about 30 seconds. And then I'm going to put some oil and smear it on the top. Now the heat is on a little lower flame so that it cooks all the way through it. It's not very thin like a chapati. You need to give it time to cook all the way inside. You don't want it raw on the inside. If it's raw, first of all, it's going to taste very doughy, which is not good. And second of all, the layers are not going to be formed. Flip it. I'm going to press it down a little bit. Then I'm going to put oil on this side as well. I'm going to flip it around. Oh, this is perfect color. This is the color that comes thanks to the sugar that you put in there. Caramelization happens due to that. And I'm going to let it cook on this side as well. Kind of looks done. And I'm going to take it off the stove. Put it here. And just scrunch it with your hand. Ah, look at it. So beautiful. Like you can see the layers, you can tell it's so flaky. It just like broke up so fast. Amazing, amazing. And I'm going to give it a try. Look at it. Ooh. I don't know how many layers there are. Who's counting? I'm going to enjoy it. Unbelievable. Absolutely yummy. And I'm not even eating it with anything yet. So a little bit of practice, little bit of patience makes an awesome paratha. Enjoy your Malabar paratha, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel because you'll be the first one to know anytime we post a video. And join us again on another episode of showmethecurry.com, adding a pinch of spice to your life.